I live in Gary, Indiana, but it's been over 240,000 people without power. No lights, no Wi-Fi, can't charge your phone. It's women taking cold showers. Everybody refrigerators off. It's restaurants closed. My neighbor's been barbecuing meat every night, and his kids outside playing, having fun as fuck in the dark because there's no school. I'm sure y'all been getting that foul smell. I've been smelling in my kitchen though, so I decided to clean the fuck up. I'm washing my refrigerator out, and since it's off, I'm gonna let it air out until the power back on. We've been without power for like 5-6 days now. And who the fuck shot at NIPSCO? And why is somebody going around throwing shit on people? And I know y'all heard about that person that had that damn TV in the McDonald's this morning playing a video game. They said all the liquor stores packed. They say some people got power and some don't. And then they talking about the mayor, but listen, he only one person. So y'all clean the damn trees up yourself. Hopefully the elder's safe. And anybody that's on medication or machine still good, and all the kids that got illnesses get well. We've been outside every night, but mom always said make sure the house clean first. Mentally, I'm peaceful, I'm healed, I'm fasting, I'm praying, and I'm appreciative of the things I now realize are privileges. And at night, I relax. It's still no power, but I got boxes on, one sock halfway off. I use my tripod to make a lamp for me while I read a book. I'm finna scroll TikTok and Instagram right now though.
Gary, Indiana has been without power for a week now, and the reason why you haven't heard about it is because it's only black people damn near in Gary, Indiana. Majority of people there are black. You know what I'm saying? 100,000 people in Indiana overall that have been without power because of a crazy storm that happened there recently. And nobody's talking about it. The media is not talking about it. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I can't help but think that if the data centers weren't there, you know, like it wouldn't be as big as a problem. They would have had power a little bit earlier. But since like the data centers are putting such a toll on these people's, you know what I'm saying, power grids, I feel like it's delaying the power getting turned back on. Amazon has an AI data center up there in northwestern Indiana that costs $15 billion and it spans across 1,200 acres. And you can't tell me that this doesn't have an effect on them and why they're not able to get power up as quickly as they should. Because I guarantee that data center is most likely up and running. Guarantee it, bro. And this is just with like 20, I think it's like 23 data centers in Indiana. And I'm pretty sure that there's like 120 something that are going to be built. So it's sad to see, man. If you can spread the word about this, make your own videos about this. More people need to be talking about this. More people need to be sharing stories about what's going on in Gary, Indiana.
What's going on YouTube? It's a different perspective, and I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be a more serious video. It's about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. There's a lot of people that have a lot to say about this subject. Apparently they're out of power, and they've been out of power for over a week now, and they've been crying out for help, and they're saying that the media will not cover it. I didn't even know about it till about this weekend or a few days ago, and they're saying that the news media will not cover it, that there's people down there that's out of power and that are hungry, and that there's a lot of stuff going on. And I just wanted to drop this video today to acknowledge what's going on and to feed and share the information of what's going on, so hopefully they can get help as soon as possible. But don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts after these clips.
I cannot believe no one is over here helping Gary.
Thousands of people in Gary, Indiana have been without power since August 11th.
The National Weather Service informed us that Gary faced the strongest winds, which reached 99 miles per hour, equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane.
All the power is out, as far as I know, all across Gary, Indiana.
They're losing food. Homes are getting warmer.
They do not have money, and some of the cards aren't even working. I ran into some ladies that had children, and my heart broke.
My name's Aja, and I'm going on day 7 of having no power in one of Indiana's worst blackouts and one of the highest crime cities in Indiana.
NIPSCO, the company that services 100% of customers in Gary, are now saying that it may be until next Tuesday until many people get power back.
We're on day 9 of no power in Gary, Indiana.
My neighbor across the street, my teacher down two streets down, we have no air in here.
Schools are closed. Families are throwing away spoiled food. people are driving to Illinois just to find ice for insulin.
I am from Gary, Indiana. I was born there, raised there until I was about 8 years old. My family is from there and people still live there. And many people are telling me that they still don't have power. They have trees on top of their homes. One of my cousins sent me this video of a grocery store completely decimated, food spoiled. This is also where the city gave people vouchers to, $150 of vouchers, but this was the only place that they could use the vouchers.
I, for one, have not seen anybody else outside of Gary, Indiana talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. And I don't like it.
Gary, Indiana specifically is also almost 85% Black. That's important.
I think this should be national news, and it's crazy to me that it's not being talked about.
Good morning, America. So we are now on day 10, no power in Gary, Indiana, and most of Northwest Indiana. And here is your day 10 update. First off, I just want to say, y'all, I'm sorry if my energy is a bit lower than my other videos. Like, this is not something that's fun. This is not something I want to keep reporting on. Like, I'm ready to make my videos saying the power is back on for everybody. This is mentally challenging for so many people. People cannot work. People cannot live their everyday lives how they're used to living. And that is mentally shifting. If there is a mental health program, if there is some free mental health links, I'm going to link them down below because people need it. This is crazy. As for Gary, Indiana news, Mayor Melton did release yesterday that as for the situation with the NIPSCO truck, they are still investigating it, but I'm not going to speak any more on it until Mayor Melton speaks on it. Like I said, he said it's under investigation. They don't have any clues yet. Let's leave it at that. The YWCA is accepting resources. If anybody wants to send resources, they are doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. They have different caterers catering, so it's not like they're just giving you bologna sandwiches or hot dogs. Yesterday, Big Daddy's catered them, so that's dope. Mayor Melton also did call out NIPSCO yesterday because they have moved Gary's restoration date from this Friday, August 19th, to next Tuesday. So now a lot of people are not going to have power until next Tuesday. That is a full 2 weeks of not living your life how you used to. Let me also note your girl did do an interview with ABC News Good Morning America, so shout out to them for finally looking at us. I guess the biggest news of day 10 is the world is finally looking at us, y'all. If you haven't seen the news article on ABC News, I'll tag it down below. It is on all my pages. Shout out to y'all for finally looking at us. We appreciate it. Hopefully, y'all can help us out. And that's pretty much it for the day 10 update. I just want to tell everybody you are not alone in this situation. There are people here to help. If you need somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to vent to, if you need just a few dollars, please hit my DM or I will connect you to the right person if I'm unavailable to. But I just want everybody to know you are not alone in this situation. We are the Greater Gary. We are the people. It is most of Northwest Indiana. We need to rally together and not be in competition. Oh, and stop the slander on Keith Lee. That boy did not say when he was coming, and he is coming. So stop it. And he's gonna bring enough resources for all of Northwest Indiana. Let it go. Let it go. Greater Gary.
Why am I having to learn from people's personal posts that majority Black, I'll say it again, majority Black Gary, Indiana is still without power more than a fucking week later? Why is this not on the news? Why the fuck is this not on the national news? No food, no electricity, no air conditioner, no stores open in the area, no medical needs being taken care of. Still 20,000 fucking residents without power and we're not hearing about it? This would be on the fucking news if this was a goddamn white neighborhood or a white town, what the fuck ever. It would be on the news. NIPSCO said that this caused 370,000 power outages. AP reported more than 300,000 people without power. That's not a oops, the lights flickered. That's not a uh-oh. That is a fucking regional infrastructure fucking crisis. Yes, we know the storm was real. They had direct straight line winds at high speeds, 2 tornadoes, large hail, all the things, we know this. But the storm being real does not erase the question of neglect, and now NIPSCO, or whatever the fuck it is being sued. Of course, they haven't been found liable, so allegedly, they didn't fucking take the money that they got to clear the vegetation and make sure these lines were free of goddamn trees, so look what happened. Yes, the disaster was real. We know that. But the reason I'm so fucking mad is because this is not just because of a goddamn disaster. This is corporate neglect. Fucking failure. And then here we go. Somebody shot at the NIPSCO people coming to scout it out and see what was wrong. I'm sure they did. They said the NIPSCO crew went out there in an unmarked vehicle to scout the area, see what was wrong. Somebody randomly shot at the vehicle. It didn't hit anybody, but of course they had to pause the work they were doing until they finally resumed it. Of course we want you to protect the workers, but using this incident as a reason as to why it's too dangerous to go help them sounds awfully familiar to fucking Katrina. We've already seen a majority black city sit in the fucking dark with no help, no power, no food, no nothing. And yes, I'm comparing this to Katrina. I know it's not the same, I fucking know that. But what is the same is a majority black community begging for help, left in need, and it looks like there's absolutely no urgency to help them. Where is the news coverage? Oh, but you don't forget to push that narrative. It's too dangerous to go help them. Ugh! Now we have residents, majority with kids, dealing with this heat and the humidity, no food, having to cook out together outside to be able to cook. Autistic kids, people that don't have their medicine. Why do y'all not give a fuck? Where is the empathy? I don't get it. Where is the empathy? But y'all say you're Christians. You love to say you're a Christian, but there's never empathy for anybody else that doesn't look like you. Where are the trucks? Where are the generators? Where are the cooling centers? Where is all the medical help? Where is all the coverage again? Where is the help? Because you cannot tell me if this was a white community sitting in the dark with no resources, there wouldn't be a million goddamn people on the street and this shit on every fucking news channel. And the only reason people are starting to finally pay attention is because black residents have to be so goddamn loud on the internet, you can't miss it. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so fucking sick of it. And don't drop the fucking comments. I don't want to read them on this. There are people in fucking need. No, they didn't do something wrong. No, they didn't need to comply. No. I don't want to hear it. Y'all should be ashamed. Absolutely ashamed. You can't call yourself a Christian or an American. Neither of the two.
All right, racists.
This is Gary, Indiana, without power for 8 days. And this is the line that they're giving a $100 voucher for. Sad.
For over 10 days, the city of Gary, Indiana has been living in the dark. And what started as a storm is now proving to be a land grab and genocidal act. Very reminiscent of the way Hurricane Katrina was orchestrated and handled. The Aboriginal Black Americans are experiencing a total blackout, with no resources and forced to survive off of $100 vouchers. It's August, which means we are living under summer conditions. And in this type of heat, the homes have become ovens. Their refrigerators are tombs for spoiled food and bacteria. Their everyday life has been hijacked and turned into a fight for basic survival. It seems the rest of the country has barely noticed or simply just doesn't care because the city is a predominantly Black American city. The national media is silent, and emergency aid is almost non-existent. And the power company, NIPSCO, is claiming that their van got shot at, while having an armed off-duty cop escort them, by the way. Which shows that this whole ordeal, even the storm itself, is not an accident or an act of God. This is orchestrated abandonment. On August 11th, a storm with 99-mile-per-hour winds tore through northwest Indiana, knocking out power for over 300,000 customers. Almost 2 weeks later, tens of thousands in Gary are still waiting. The utility company NIPSCO, they said that they have to rebuild the entire system, which means replacing nearly 300 poles. Yet they made sure to put in the news that a shooting took place, which gives them more than enough time to stall, when they could have just said the real issue, that the storm caused catastrophic damage. But they didn't. They came up with a story that gives a perfect alibi to neglect the residents. Residents of Gary are being told to wait until August 25th to restore the power. Meanwhile, neighboring cities got their lights back on days ago. People are sleeping in their cars just to get cool air. They charge their phones in their vehicles and spend nights in parking lots because their homes are unlivable. Of course, the heat is unbearable, and the frustration is likely to worsen with the repair timeline of next week. A $100 voucher is not enough. What this country is pulling right now is a pattern. The utility company initially left Gary off of their restoration timeline map entirely. They only added it later after the public outcry. So we can clearly see the manufacturing of disasters. This is nothing new. The question becomes, when will the rest of us do something about it? Today's catastrophe could be yours tomorrow, depending on which entity wants your land. These attempts won't stop unless someone stops them. So, what are you going to do, America? Continue to ignore the original people? Because it's only a matter of time before what happens in Gary happens to you.
My name's Aja, and I'm still in the dark. I know a lot of people don't like to hear me curse, but things just keep getting worse and worse. We are now under a boil advisory. I was informed by someone at the sanitation district that the longer we don't have power, the less they're going to be able to basically filter and clean the water. So we need to boil everything on the stove with no power.
How we gonna do a food tour in the Midwest and Gary ain't had no power and ain't nobody talking about it? I, for one, have not seen anybody else outside of Gary, Indiana talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. And I don't like it. And if you know me, you know I put my money where my mouth is. So today alone, we've been on the phone with the mayor's office to see if there's ways we can get involved. We've been on the phone with Salvation Army to see if we can get a Salvation Army truck and just drive around and pass out necessities, goods, anything that we can get our hands on. I'm not only making this video to say, if you in Indiana and you know any ways we can get involved, please let me know. I'm also making this video to say, I think this should be national news. And it's crazy to me that it's not being talked about. All the stuff y'all talk about on social media nowadays, everybody got a think piece on everything. Why not a think piece on the fact that communities that look like myself been out with power for 8 days?
Thugged it out through the whole 7 days, and I didn't want to get a hotel because I didn't know how long this was gonna last, and I wanted to save as much money as I could just to, just in case, because you just never know how much money you're gonna need because how long this tragedy gonna go on. So on the 7th day, I finally bought a hotel room, right? It was power. We went where the power was, right? No storm, no nothing. The power went out in here.
If the entire Los Angeles County, we're talking about Compton, Malibu, Hollywood, if all of that had no power, it's all you would hear about. That's all. If the entire metropolitan New York area did not have power right now, there would be nothing else you would be hearing about. But because this is an area with primarily black and brown folk, you barely even know about this.
News is not reaching people. It seems like the only videos that are getting reach are from people who are affected immediately by the situation. For some context, you guys, it's now been 8 days that most of Northwest Indiana has not had any power, and this has caused gas shortages and just closed gas stations due to this event. Gary, Indiana still has no power. Looting is beginning, and they're deploying the National Guard down there.
Last night got really crazy. There were a lot of pew pew shots right outside of my door. We actually just heard some coming in. So guess what we did? We went to Bass Pro Shop and got some. Just in case you didn't know, it is pitch black dark still in this house everywhere. Actually, you don't even street a street light, do you?
I live in Gary, Indiana, but it's been over 240,000 people without power. No lights, no Wi-Fi, can't charge your phone. It's women taking cold showers. Everybody refrigerators off. It's restaurants closed. My neighbor's been barbecuing meat every night, and his kids outside playing, having fun. It's fucked in the dark because there's no school.
We are currently day 7, no power. Don't even know when our power is going to be restored at this point because the time keeps changing. But let me show y'all how dark it is. There we go. Completely dark. It's not safe. People are breaking in people's houses and everything.
And there you have it. People reporting from Gary, Indiana of what happened and what they're going through and the sufferings that's going on over there. My final thoughts is that they need to fix this as soon as possible. The news not reporting it is very shady, and it's just It's very sad that it's happening to a black community. It seems like it happens a lot to black communities where they have to fend for themselves during national emergencies. In my opinion, as a matter of fact, it's a fact that a lot of black Americans pay into the taxes and do what they need to do. You know, despite what the news and the media says, I believe a lot of black Americans do what they need to do daily, and they should not be treated like that. You know, if they're law-abiding citizens, they haven't done anything, they haven't done things wrong like that to be treated like that. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I just wanted to put the awareness out there for Gary, Indiana, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.